slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love.
It's DL Hughley Uncut.
Yeah, so this video, particularly in our community, has just really kind of, I think, raised a lot of fear and anger. And it is, well, I'll let the video speak for itself. You guys take a look at this.
Terrible.
So our next guest is an attorney known for representing the family of both of John and also in the case against Amber Geiger, and is now currently representing the family of Ahmaud Arbery. Welcome, a cat I've spoken to way too many times. Welcome, Lee Merritt. How you doing, Lee?
Good deal, except my my camera's giving me a little.
Yeah,
cooperate
no
there.
worries, no worries. What did I just see?
You saw a murder. You
Right.
saw what is tantamount to a modern day lynching. These three men, and we only see two in the video, but the third one is actually taking the video. These three men set out to find a black man who they thought didn't belong. Who they thought didn't belong in their neighborhood, and killed him.
Now, when did this happen?
This happened well over 2 months ago, February 23rd of
So
this year.
why are we just now getting wind of it?
Well, one of the shooters, or sorry, the father of the shooter, a man named Gregory McMichael, is a long-term, a 30-year lawman from South Georgia, and the people in the region conspired to cover this up.
Where was this at?
This was in Brunswick, Georgia,
Okay,
South Georgia.
explain to me, because you know what? The first thing I saw, the first emotion I had when I watched it is it looked all too familiar. I think that scene of white men in pickup trucks running down and then subsequently lynching or gunning down a black man is imbued in our psyche. So when you said the equivalent of a modern day lynching, I knew exactly what you were talking about, and I think that it just connotes a time in America that is too consistent. Like you talked about, 2020 has been rough, but I think 1820 was rough. I think 1920 was rough. I think that the one thing that would be consistent is that scene, whether it was a horse and buggy or the combustible engine, and now a truck. The one thing that's current, consistent, is white men running down black men and then ending their lives.
Yeah, no, and from a civil rights perspective, it looks a lot like the case of James Byrd in Texas, which was another really, it was a lynching that occurred in the modern era, where a young man was chained to a back of a pickup truck that looked like that and drugged to death. And so those were the feelings I got when I first saw this. And most importantly is how the law enforcement community responded to this.
How did
lynching.
they respond?
They gave the men their guns back, essentially said good job and sent them home. They were not charged. They were not thoroughly investigated. The victim was criminalized posthumously for crimes that he never committed and that he has no record of. And life was supposed to go on in South Georgia.
Isn't that always like, I remember I talked to you about doing both of John. There was a young man, another young man.
Jordan Edwards.
Yeah, and there's always this rush to exonerate the officers, and that doesn't necessarily change until there's outcry from the community. Like, absent that outcry, I think a lot of the results wouldn't be the same. I think it took forever to charge both of them, John. It took forever to charge the young man that with the cop.
Yeah, and you brought me on the show before we charged in that case, and it was 15-year-old Jordan Edwards, and everyone kept saying, well, a car was coming at the cop, was reversing back at a cop, and it was going to kill him. He had no choice. He had to shoot up the 15-year-old kid in order to stop the car from hitting him. Then the video was released, and the car was driving away, and it was
Right.
nowhere close to the shot.
Right.
Right.
And that's essentially it. That conclusion without the video ever being.
Right.
But that's what I don't understand. Even with them saying, you know, their initial thing was they were making a citizen's arrest because they felt like he resembled someone who allegedly was committing burglaries. And so they got their weapons and chased after him. And then I guess the district attorney was saying that they were well within their rights because of the laws there to, I guess, make a citizen's arrest being armed, legally armed.
Yeah. And when you say district attorney, you use that term loosely. Their homeboy said, this is a man whose son grew up with the shooter, Travis McMichael, and had to recuse himself because he didn't disclose to anyone that he had those kind of conflicts. The family had to discover those conflicts themselves, call him out on it, and then he said, I don't consider it a conflict, but I will recuse myself. And this is the legal apparatus that we're dealing with.